Back in 2004, 2 years after Donnie Roper started Kodiak Storm Lacrosse with Brian Bitcombe. Brian was from Ontario. He's transferred down here with the Irving group. He's been involved with lacrosse. He played in Team Canada. He started a junior team from a bunch of the overage juniors that were playing in Moncton at the time. They started out in the Nova Scotia Junior C League, which went for Junior C from 2004 to probably 2008, 2009, then went into the Junior B League, which is the East Coast Junior Lacrosse League that we have here. 16 league. Most of the teams go to 4 teams go to Halifax, 1 team out of Truro, and 1 team out of Moncton for all New Brunswick.
My son, between hockey, was looking. We'd seen, I'd actually been to a chiropractor, and he was actually involved in lacrosse. And when my son started getting a little bit older, I got in the back of my mind, oh, I need something between hockey and soccer. So he said, oh, let's try lacrosse. And that was 4 years ago now. So still going strong, likes it.
Well, my story is probably similar to most people in Kodiak Lacrosse. I was befriended / strong-armed by Randy Canning. When we first came to watch the boys play, he said, go on out there, you're a dad, go out and help out. I coach hockey and I coach baseball, so I was more than happy to come out and help the boys out. I said, Randy's enthusiasm is infectious. It's, his love of the game makes others appreciate it more. So.
I played as a kid, okay? I was exposed to the game for the first time in my teenage years up in Caracat, out of all places. It was big in Caracat for about 6-7 years, and we went to that. We had a few good, excellent fundraiser guys, okay, and so we were able to go to nationals every year, you know, to Vancouver, Ottawa. So when I moved to Moncton as an adult, my son was about 3 years old when they first started Moncton. As soon as he was of age, around 5 years old, I wanted to get him exposed to the sport because I had a good time playing it.
I was 15, and there was a call out for a junior team, and we were looking for something to do after hockey season. And a bunch of buddies all got together, and we started playing the game. It was a neat experience the first year.
I have 4 boys that are playing lacrosse, 4 on the team playing right now. They're actually 20, 18, 17, and 17 now, and they started when they were little playing. I think it's their favorite sport out of everything. They play hockey and football and lacrosse, and I think you could say lacrosse would be their favorite. My twins played on the New Brunswick team. They've gone to Vancouver, Whitby, Ottawa, done quite a bit of traveling with them. They really love the sport. It's sometimes hard to watch because it's very physical, as one of my boys got in a fight today. But they do love the sport, and it amazes me how they can play so passionate. They can get in a fight and then they shake hands and give the other guy a hug and walk away. So it's all about the sport.
I started playing lacrosse when I was about 5 years old in Fredericton. My dad was the big influence on me playing because he played junior out in BC out there, so he pushed me to play it, and I've played it ever since.
I started lacrosse with Kodiak back in 2005. I started in Pee Wee as a player, and I started as a defenseman and worked my way up. I decided to be a goaltender, and then I ended up with the Mavericks organization after my years of midget as their backup goaltender, and eventually worked my way to the starting role.
I think I started playing lacrosse back when I was 8 or 9 years old in elementary school, and just I saw all my other buddies playing, and I was the only one not playing, and kind of intrigued me. And once I started, I actually started out playing goalie at first, and then realized that there wasn't a lot of players that were needed, and started playing player and developed my skill and brought it to the top level here as a Maverick. I played for the Moncton Mavericks, I think 5 years. Last year was my final year. I've been coaching, this is my first year coaching Moncton Mavericks. I've been coaching Kodiak Lacrosse for 2 or 3 years as well. I've took my skills from playing for the Moncton Mavericks, and I've captained St. Mary's University's Field Lacrosse team.
Well, it was really cheap. And my dad said, do you want to go in it? I was like, sure.
I started when my mom asked me if I wanted to play because my friend was playing it, and I said yes, and then I started playing, and it seemed really hard because I had to hit like a spot that was like that big on the wall, and I was like, when am I ever going to be able to do this? And then it's like, now it's like easy to do.
Any team sport, working as a team, you know, learning how to lose. It's not as important as winning. You got to lose. I mean, I had to bring that to my team one time. They got a little rowdy after a game, and I just said, look, win or lose, you win as a team, you lose as a team. Sportsmanship, you don't, you know, you win fair, you lose fair. You don't badmouth the other guys. It's all about sportsmanship and how you, I guess, conduct yourself on and off the court.
The sport at the lower levels is very similar to hockey. Okay, 5 against 5, goalies, nets. At higher levels of play, it's a cross between hockey and basketball, which, you know, the kids like. So it could be interesting for any kids that has played these two sports or other sports. Studies show now that kids should not specialize at a young age in one sport. It's you know, they should play a certain number of sports, you know, 8 to 10, maybe a little fewer sports from 10 to 12, you know, and like a pyramid like this, specialize maybe at 15 or 16. So that's a great sport for hockey players. I think it's a major asset for people from Ontario and BC, where it's most popular. You know, the kids don't play hockey 12 months a year, okay? There's sports like this that's totally related. It avoids burnout for the kids. It works different muscles. Kids should run, okay? This is a running sport. It's physical, yes. A game like this, a junior game, is probably the most physical it can get. It's a lot less at the lower levels. And, but there's no serious injuries, okay? The boards are basically out of the play. All the plays on the inside. They're very well padded, the kids, and it's physical, but it's not, you know, I wouldn't consider it violent or anything. It's just.
Well, obviously the box game, you're in a confined space, and it's a lot more physical. The field game is in a much larger area. It's not confined, and it's a lot more skill and a lot more ball movement. But the people that play that are very good at box games can become very good field lacrosse players.
We play every weekend almost, and we have one practice a week because we have guys from all over New Brunswick playing for us. We have guys from Moncton, St. John, Fredericton, and I think that's about it that we have. Myself, I'm from Fredericton, so it's a 2-hour drive just to come up here, so we try to just keep it one practice, save guys on gas money and stuff like that, having to travel.
The evolution, we've had some great skill development. Great skill development and some great opportunities for some kids. We've got some kids that have gone on to play Junior A in Ontario. We've got some kids that have gone down on hockey scholarships that have gone on and were asked not to play hockey anymore, but to play field. A guy by the name of Jeremy Votor in Hampton. We got a couple of guys that have been all over the world playing lacrosse. One guy ended up going to Australia. A couple of guys ended up going all over.
I grew up in BC. I played lacrosse for, oh man, probably like 13 years out there. I played at the Junior B and Junior A level out in BC. And then I moved out here to New Brunswick to finish my schooling. I started and played for the university team at UNB Fredericton. And now I got into coaching. I started off last year with Team New Brunswick in field, and then I'm coaching with the Mavericks out here this year. So, yeah.
It's still a big learning curve of trying how to catch the ball, how to pass the ball, throw the ball, receiving the ball, how to pick it up, how to run with it, cradling it. It's still, like I said, for a lot of people, it's still the young guys. They're first starting out. It's like, what? Some kids are just like a natural. They pick it up really easy. Others, it's more of a struggle, but they all have fun, and I think that's the idea of sports, is you go out to have fun and learn something new.
I just really like the sport. You know, also saving the goals. My dad says I really have to work on one thing, not flinching.
And that's one of our keys right now, is to finding out more younger fathers, younger families, to build the sport up that way. That's how you build the sport, is the lower levels, right? The upper levels are great, like we're watching today, but the lower levels, if you're Taiken, mini Taiken, novice, that's where you're truly going to get growth in the sport.
When I was involved, okay, to be honest, there was probably a little less competition, okay? Like spring hockey was for, you know, a handful of kids, the actual top. Kudos to the hockey people here in Moncton. They have convinced people that it's okay to continue for a few months. To me, you know, it would be the big issue. The big point is that playing different sports is a good idea, and that's a great crossover for hockey. And if people can get into that mindset, it should help bring the numbers up.
We started this. St. John was the pivotal area, and they put a call out looking to get it started in Moncton. So they've been a great help in the initial area, and also we reached out to Sackville, Brunswick, which had lacrosse in the 70s and early 80s. But for Moncton, there was nobody had played the game, nobody had seen the game, and it was a brand new experience all around.
Well, we have a lot of plans. We 2 years ago we started a field lacrosse for under 18. That's this year developed into 4 more teams named after high school teams. Well, we have hopes in 2 years to get a field lacrosse ladies team going, which is very big in the state, and we'd like to get it involved eventually into the middle school so that we have each. Not being in the NBIAA, but having a middle school team name so that we can have all the schools to participate and have it just as another club sport with the school.
Lacrosse in the Moncton area used to be a lot bigger than it is now. We're sort of in a regrowing period now. So we're trying to draw in new people, new kids, that kind of stuff. But it looks like it's up and coming, and there's more kids coming. We do a lot of the kids that you know that play. You know all the parents, and it's really fun when you go to the tournaments and away games, and it's a lot of fun.
I think it needs to get bigger, because if you go to Ontario, BC, out west, lacrosse is bigger. I'd like to see our numbers grow in each city. That's the biggest thing. If it starts growing, but you're always going to have competition with summer sports and stuff like that.
I would like more kids to come out instead of playing spring hockey. I know in New Brunswick it's mainly a hockey province. It'd be nice to have some kids doing more than one thing. There are a lot of athletic kids who start lacrosse. We have a few guys actually on this team who their main sport is hockey all year, and they started playing lacrosse and they just had the athletic gift. They just got it. So it'd be nice to have more kids come out and get some interest back in lacrosse again.
It takes a lot of volunteers, and we're fortunate this year. This year we're really fortunate to have a lot of volunteers, more so than we've ever had. We finally got a lot of coaches that are interested to stay with the game for a long time. We've got a lot of volunteers that are really dedicated, a lot of dedication, because it's not just a 2 or 3 hour dedication. We're on the floor at the Kodiak from 2 or 3 nights a week from 6 to 10. You know, we run our leagues Sunday to 6 to 9, to Thursday 6 to 9, and so there's a lot of parents that take that effort on.
Growing up, as a player, I kind of took an interest in coaching just from, I just noticed that every little thing they tell you is to better yourself, and as long as I realize that, I can help contribute to either my own teammates or the players I'm coaching, and over the years, just keep developing those skills and better everyone around you.
I think for me as a coach, I get my coaching style from my dad. He's a big guy that keeps himself calm, cool, and collective during games. And I try to get that the same style, but sometimes you can't really control your emotions during games when they're so close.
Tennis, you go to a tennis court or what have you, or just go out in the yard. That's what I do with my young fellas. I take them out and I drag out one of the 2 nets for lacrosse we have, and we go fire the ball out and be surprised how quickly I have kids I've never seen before coming out with a lacrosse stick in their hand, which was awesome to see. And it's that nice organic growth is what you want.
My garage doors are dented like you can't imagine. My glass light fixtures on the side of the carriage lights on the house are broken. They've broken a couple of picture windows in the family room, but They love the sport. It's hard to say stop doing it when they're outside being active and playing, when they could be sitting playing video games. And I'd rather have the dented garage doors than the kids sitting in the basement playing video games.
It's a game where you can get very passionate very quickly. The first year that we started in 2002, we were hoping to get 3 teams. We had 8. And in the second year, we were hoping to get the 8 teams back. We had 16, and then 24, and then 28. It became very popular very quickly, and the kids. It's a short season, and it's a very passionate game. And it was new. It hadn't been run in Moncton before, and people were inspired by the newness of it.
So I think it's beneficial for some kids that have a hard time going into the muck, I call it, right? They avoid that situation where there may be a few players in a corner, whereas lacrosse teaches them it's fine. I'm not going to get hurt. I have to work there once in a while, otherwise I'm not going to be successful.
In regards to lacrosse, it's usually certain injuries. It's either muscles and stuff like that. Sometimes we see a lot of concussions lately too, just being with the roughness of the sport and contact and everything. That's always something we have to be considering. Other than that, there's been more like slashing and stuff like that. So you get the common like wrist injuries and everything else. So far we've been pretty lucky this season. No concussions or anything like that yet. But yeah, compares a little bit to rugby and football along those lines, hockey, like a lot of the guys have played before too. Yeah.
A lot of these guys have played with each other for a while now, so they all know each other. They know not to be as dirty guys or make these dirty hits on kids. Because, like I said, this is like junior, so you'll have some 15-year-old kids, and they try to stay away from trying to hurt them and hit them too hard. So it's a lot of respect throughout the league, I find.
Definitely, lacrosse is a physical sport, but definitely the majority of it's a mental game, whether it's just before the game, in the dressing room, in between periods, on the bench, just staying focused on what's really the end goal of the game. And that's winning and keeping your cool, making sure everyone on your team's having fun and everyone's playing at their top of their game.
Kids started playing younger, so I sort of learned as they learned. So I still don't understand the rules. I need the book Lacrosse for Dummies because I really don't understand. Sometimes I think something should be a penalty and it's not, but anyway.
No one to cheer.
Yes. I think we just got a goal.
Well, the kids, the skill set starts at a much earlier age. I mean, in 2002 when we started the sport, the kids were playing it like it was floor hockey or a hockey game, and just because of their commitment to the sport, the skill sets got extremely faster and quicker.
You may want to see a longer elbow pad for lacrosse elbow pad versus a hockey elbow pad. And the gloves are a little different. They're a little looser than a hockey glove would be, so you get a little more better range of movement in your hands. And beyond that, everything else is quite similar. Helmet, jock, shoulder pads. And your rib guards is another big piece of equipment that lacrosse has that hockey would not have. So you'll see a lot of action across the lower kidneys and the ribs and even the spine and the back. So.
Yeah, we do a lot of tapings, like preventative tapings if guys have had previous injuries like shoulder separations or anything like that, really common stuff with hockey. Mm-hmm. So we'll do a few tapings to prevent anything like that happening when they smash into the boards. As far as concussion goes, we've got programs started with CCMI to really have a whole global picture of concussions and see what their baseline levels are. If they ever do get injured, we can run those tests again. Okay. So that's something that we're going to be looking to do next year with the team for sure. And that gives us a better idea as to when they're ready to go back to sport when they do get a concussion. So a lot of preventative stuff, yeah.
I had coached, through high school, I had coached lacrosse with Kodiak, the littler kids, the 8 and 9-year-olds. So once I finished my years here playing with the Mavericks, I decided I want to get involved with coaching. It is a little different. My brother's actually the starting goaltender for this team, so it's hard to control him sometimes, but he's pretty good at listening, and all the guys are very respectful on this team, so it was a good transition.
Where I grew up, lacrosse wasn't that big. I was part of a group that started lacrosse, my age group, but definitely when you go down to Vancouver and the Vancouver Islands, it's huge down there. And when you came out here, the culture is a little bit different around the sport, but it's still here. There's still guys who love to play the game, and so yeah, it's great.
And this year we did. Last couple of years we've had a night on Sunday night here at the K, over in the gym. Just come in. You could pay for the whole. I believe it was a 20 weeks they had in here, and you could pay for the whole week, the whole session, or you could just do it like a drop-in fee, and I believe it was $5. I didn't come this year, but it's a good way for the kids just to come out, just get the stick in the hand. For a lot of kids, they may have seen it on TV, or you see your friends out on the street throwing it around, and then they can just come here and pick it up, and it says, see how it is, and you get a little bit of the basics, how to cater it, how to run with it, how to pass it, how to shoot it. Very basic, and it's amazing. I said, my son, the first year we came out, he was 4 years old, and here's a 13-year-old, and it's like they don't care about the age. And if it was like he couldn't get it, so they'd run up to him and just put the ball in the stick so he could shoot the ball, right? And I think that's the whole concept. We went back to the community, lacrosse community, is even the kids who are playing now want the younger kids to play and enjoy the game and develop in the game.
Highly recommend it. My kids love it. I think it's a great team building thing. I think they learn more out of this sport than the other sports they play. My older kids, my oldest guy, Alex, he referees, actually all four referee, but Alex likes to referee because as he's reffing the younger kids, he's telling them what they can do and how they can improve and you know, why something is what it is. He teaches the little kids how to string their sticks and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a great sport.
This game wouldn't exist if it weren't for the volunteers. In 2002, when we started the program, there was 3 or 4 people that had played or even seen the game before, and we were on the floor every night helping coaches that were coaching the game that had never even seen the game played. But if it weren't for the volunteers that we've had over the years, both for the coaches and the executives and the board members and the referees, it would have failed fast. Can't say enough about the volunteers.
I think the big thing about it is it's a great game. I said I've fallen in love with the sport since I've started with it only a few years ago. That's why I'm involved in it. And I said it's great for more people to come out and enjoy and really get a good experience with it from one end to the next. So.
Yeah, I think you see that with every sport. The kids that the sport means a lot to, they want to stay in it, and the sport did a lot of things for me. It gave me a lot of opportunities to go places with it, and you know, I want to get back to it, and I want to help out, and I want to keep working in it, and maybe it might lead me to some future careers. So yeah.
I was always used to playing as a younger player on most teams, and I kind of, even when I'm coaching, try to develop the rookies and the younger players, just because been in their shoes before. So
it's an easy sport to pick up. If you got a pair of sneakers and you can run or like to run, the skill set comes along with the ball handling and the stick later on. It's a great sport for kids for hand and eye coordination, and it's good to pick. It's easy to pick up.
When the kids start out younger, it's just the basics, learning to pass and shoot and that kind of stuff. As they're getting into bantam age, it's getting a little rougher. By midget, when their hormones are raging, you just don't know what the heck they're doing. And this age, you shake your head and smile and hope they're having fun.
When I was younger, the sport, there wasn't much experience around. You basically had a bunch of hockey dads coaching lacrosse, so everyone was carrying their stick down by their feet and didn't know the proper techniques. But over the years, we finally had some guys step up from other places and bring their experience and share it with everyone.
I think that you're starting to see a growth in players. I think that there's a change as far as with this program and with our 2 university teams in field. The skill level is getting higher and higher, and we're hoping that the younger kids are seeing that and they're going to want to play, 5, 6, 8 years down the road. And help feed teams like this and keep them going. So
we have KodiakStorm.ca as our website, and then we have a Facebook page. It is involved with the City of Moncton Leisure Services. You can register there, find out there. We are involved with pro kids. We have When the kids need some financial assistance or whatever, we're big into that. We really try to promote the game for keep the costs down low. It's not an expensive sport to play. I think novice and under, it's $50 for the year, and they play 2.5 months. Pee-wee gets a little more expensive, and bantam and midget, it gets to be about $165.